Well, hello again. Um, some of you may know that I've recently come back from a lovely holiday in Antigua, and various people had said to me, "Oh, I hope you're going to be inspired by things that you saw over there." Well, one of the things I like to do when I go on holiday is to buy Christmas decorations from that place, so that every year when the tree comes out and I start to decorate it, I look at those decorations and I remember those lovely times I've had in different places all over the world. Well, in Antigua this time, I went on a trip around the island, and one of the places we visited was Devil's Bridge, which is a rock formation where the sea has made almost like a tunnel under the rock. And just there were a bunch of huts where various people were selling things that they had made. And in one of them, I spotted this, which I thought was just lovely. Little Christmas decoration. It's got red bow. Here in the corner is the flag of Antigua and a few shells. So I thought perhaps I could translate that into a decoration for a card, and I thought it might make a rather nice Christmas card for my husband so that we can remember our holiday there. So what I set about doing was this. I'll put that over there. I cut some card, just scrap. I cut 3 pieces with 2 circle dies taped together. So I would get 3 rings. Once I'd got those 3 rings cut out, I stuck them together and started to do the wrapping. Now, those people who've made pom-poms when they were kids, you know how you can get in a pickle with your thread and all the rest of it. So here I've got a roll of twine, huge roll of twine, which no way could I get through the centre of this. I would have to cut some off. So what I decided to do was make a kind of a bobbin. So I looked at the width of the centre of the aperture and cut a piece of card, two thicknesses like this, and from each end I cut out a V like this, one from each end, and then I proceeded to the first turn. I put the end of the thread between the 2 layers, held it together, and then just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped until I thought I'd got enough. And that's what this is. So make sure that it's narrow enough to go through your gap. Now, sometimes when you're wrapping things like this for a pom-pom, the twine becomes quite twisted. You know what it's like if you're unraveling some wool or whatever like that, anything that's been spun. So the way I use to stop that is just put a little bit of sticky on the back to hold this in place. Then I can hold this up in the air and it will turn and unravel itself so that it's not twisted anymore. It just makes it a whole lot easier. So now I just want to carry on and finish wrapping this, because this is going to be the base of my wreath. So here we go. I've done that one wrong for a start. Right, this way. And as you do it, you need to make sure that the line that it's making is straight across the circle. You don't want to get it going off to the side like this. So the inside bit has to be very close together. The outside bit slightly further spaced apart, just so that it will fit. So here we go. We're nearly finished. I did all this beforehand because it would have been as boring as I don't know what, trying to watch me do all this. Okay, now I've got to decide whether I want that just to hang like this, or whether I want to make it a double, or whatever. What shall we do? This one has been put on afterwards, and it's quite a doubler. I think a 2 might look a bit better. I could just actually do that, couldn't I? And then tape it on the back. Hadn't really thought this one through, but never mind, let's have a look. This is my card, the base that I intend doing it on. I've cut a card, I've cut a panel, and why I've cut a panel was because I thought I may want my hanging bit to go over the top and be secured behind so that it's neat. Let's just look and see. It might just go like that, actually. That might be quite nice like that. Let me cut this off and make a loop. Let's have a look at the length. I'd like that centralised. About there, I think. Let's just see. I'm going to put a piece of double-sided, I think, on that for the minute. There we go. I like to keep one pair of scissors. These are supposed to be non-stick scissors, but a lot of the non-stick is kind of worn off over the years, but I use some stick away to get rid of any surplus. I'm going to take that bit off. Okay, so there is the base of my wreath. Now, what I thought I would do is to, all these dies that I've cut these little shells and things from are these, whoops-a-daisy, let's get it off my magnetic sheet at the back here. Oh, there we go. These are from Charlie and Portion, who are a German company. So we've got the little net and a bunch of little shells. So I die cut some of those. You can see where I got them from there. I die cut those, and with a little ink, I just added a tad of colour. Now here I've got 2 shells that I actually picked up off the beach. I don't know if you can see those there. Can you see them? I picked up off the beach in Antigua. One day I was in the sea, and it was particularly a bit rougher than normal, and lots of little shells were washed up onto the sand, and I just picked a handful. That particular day, as I say, the sea was quite strong, and a wave caught me unawares, knocked my sunglasses off my face into the sea. And I was quite upset because I've had these sunglasses for such a long time, and they're my favourites, really. Anyway, I thought, well, that's it. They've gone. A couple of chaps who were on the beach went to help me out of the sea because it was a bit of a slope. I was having a bit of trouble. And as he was pulling me out, would you believe, a wave washed my sunglasses back up onto the beach. So I haven't lost my sunglasses after all, about which I'm really pleased. Okay. There is my wreath. I have a fancy of putting, how would this go? That would go quite nicely like that. So to stick that on, I'm going to put a little bit of this stuff. I might get rid of the hole. What I like to do is just put a pokey tool, if I could find one. Where's it gone? Here it is. Just through the holes like this, because that adhesive from a runner will go across the holes, and it doesn't look very nice, I don't think. But it's a really good adhesive for making sure that things will stick. So I just shove a pokey tool in to get rid of it in the holes, and so you can't see it. So then I can put my die cut onto my, there we go. Now, these ones I think I'm going to put, what I did was, I've got a bit of pumice stone, which is what I used on that one, and this one. That one has got some of this pink pirouette, and this little starfish has got some of this tattered rose. Just a little cut, I just caught hold of the die cut and just dabbed it over the ink like that, and then put it in my spraying box and gave it a little spray of Crafter's Companion Spray and Sparkle Pearl Diamond, just to give it a bit of luster. Okay, now these ones I'm going to try and stick on just with glue dots. How big are these? Let's have a look. Those are a bit big. I think I'll put some of these little ones on. These are rather tiny, but nevertheless I think we'll be fine. Right, here's a shell. And I want to try and include the real shells as well. This one is all coming apart. Come on. Might have to put an extra glue dot down there. Let's see. There we go. Right. Let's have a look where we're going to put them. Have a little dry run. I want to put these two, I will have to heat up my glue gun, my hot glue, because I don't think they will stick with anything else. Let's have a look. I quite like to put these that way up. I don't know why I should really, but that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So I'll stick the rest of those on. I don't want to go into great detail about every single tiny bit because I would be here forever. So let me just put this out of the way for a moment. Now, if you don't want to do all this wrapping, it does take a while, but I found it quite relaxing actually. If you don't want to do that, you could use something like hessian or burlap, or whatever you call it. But with these things, I've got two different sorts here. One much more open weave than the other. And this one is much more susceptible to losing bits of it when you die cut it. If you've got intricate shapes and it goes, not so bad with circles, but for some you will lose bits of it. So what I do to counteract that is to put some double-sided tape on the back. So let me just do some of that now. Actually, I will use some double-sided sheet. Here's some in my drawer. Okay, here's a bit of double-sided sheet. Let's get a bit large enough for the circles. The end of that pokey tool now needs cleaning because it's all sticky from getting rid of that glue. Okay, put that away. So if I put some of this on the back of my burlap, of my hessian, I think we should be able to, come on. There we go. Put it on the back of the hessian. I'll just give that a bit of a rub just to make sure it's adhered to the burlap. Make sure it's stuck. Okay, now we can cut it out. Let's see if that's gone through. I may need to put a shim on, I'm not sure. Let's just see. Has it gone through? Yes, it's done. I think I will just give it a run with a shim just for to be sure. The shim is just another layer to add a bit of meat to the sandwich so that it's a slightly tighter fit, so that the actual die will press in more firmly. You can use card, you can use a proprietary sheet shim like this one, but bits of card will do. There we go. I think that one's fine. So if you haven't got twine, or you haven't got even burlap, but you see, that has kept it all together. Now, if I want to, I could either put this directly onto the card, which would make it a lot flatter as well, if you need to post it. I'm intending giving this one to my husband, so it doesn't matter about the thickness. But this one would be a lot flatter and still looks rather pretty. You could use a bit of, if you want it for what do you call it, hanger thing, you can pull out a bit of the stuff from this stuff here, from the hessian, and use that to make a loop or a bow or whatever. Okay, that's just kind of by the by, but I just thought I would add that in case it's something that, you know, you might find an alternative to be able to use. Okay, we're kind of getting there. Here we've got a bow, and I thought I could make a bow with my bow maker. I've got a bit of ribbon here. Bow makers make really neat bows, and it's so simple to do. You just kind of go around, under, through, over, and then you just tie a knot and it's kind of done. One knot and pull tight. There we go. And the front of the knot is kind of on the back of that. So there's a pretty little bow ready to just put onto the top of it. And I'll just snip this off. And I would attach this again with a glue dot just on there. Just put those away. So here we are. We're nearly there. I will stick those with my glue gun. Put more glue dots on for these. Pick it up with your tweezers, girl, for goodness sake. There we go. Just arrange them how you want. Stick them on there like that. And I did make a little sentiment. And this one just says warmest wishes, which I thought was actually kind of appropriate, because these have come from a warm place. I want to give warm wishes. I want to remember our holiday. So there we go. And that will go onto here. Now, looking at that, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually cut a smaller panel rather than this one, because I think that one looks a little bit lost. I may even put that over the top. I don't know. But I think that would make quite a pretty Christmas card. Well, there's another one to have a go at. And, you know, you can be a little bit out the box, a bit left field, as they say, or whatever it is, with your ideas, and use things that are kind of around you. Memories are made by all sorts of things, so a good way to remember some of the times you've had. So there we go. As ever was, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Thanks so much.